Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Thursday, May the 15th, 6:37 p.m. Thank you so much for being live with us. We are available on all social media platforms. We're live on X and on YouTube. If you're on X, please make sure that you are retweeting the video and dropping a comment. If you're on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Click on the notification bell for all notifications, and then also you're dropping us a thumbs up or a comment if you want to participate in the conversation. So, as told by this pod, you know, we had hope, guys. We knew these guys at some point were going to click. And against Charlotte, Orlando City defeated them 3-1 at Interco Stadium. They extended their unbeaten streak to 11 matches across all competitions. The Lions showcased a balance between offense and defense. Goal from Luis Muriel, goal from Martin Ojeda, goal from Ramiro Enrique, and obviously Wilfred Saha, with the quality that he has, he scored a lone goal in the second half. But Charlotte really had a lot of issues, not only with the pressure Orlando was exerting on them offensively, but also trying to penetrate Orlando's defense. They couldn't do it. Aguiman nowhere to be found. Not a lot of opportunities created by Charlotte. So we'll discuss Charlotte today. On our lineup today, we're gonna talk about the win 3-1 against Charlotte FC, and then we're gonna be previewing the Flamingos away, Inter Miami. We're gonna be talking about them. Yes, we're gonna be talking about them. Lineup, score predictions, and more. Stay tuned. Thank you for your support. John, how are you, my friend? How you feel after that 3-1 win?
Yeah, man, midweek action, it's you never really know how these Wednesday games are gonna go. When we're at home, it's always nicer than the away midweek game, but great to get the win. Once again, I gotta shout out you because you got it bang on with the 3-1 and the
They got to invite
predictions.
me
So
to.
yeah, Luis, you need to start placing some bets on yourself, man, because you got it right 4 times so far this year.
I'm telling you,
And
you
we've
know,
only
they
played like
gotta
14
start inviting
games.
me to these shows, man. You know.
Uh, and then I think it was just a great match overall. Like what a win. The boys turned up, they played well. It wasn't just Ojeda on the score sheet, Muriel, Enrique. I think Charlotte looked threatening a few times, but most of the time I felt like we were the team that was in control. I didn't want us to throw this one away. We didn't do that. We got the W. Vibes are high going into Miami. So it was what we wanted. I know we're gonna get a little deeper into it, but for a midweek game, I think this was what we need, right? We needed this win. We got it, and Charlotte, suffer from that.
Yeah, for sure. Look, before we go to the analysis and we read some of the comments, I do wanna just give a shout out to a new contributor here for LPO. I want to say hello to Mr. Lucas Camarini. He is a photographer, a professional photographer, and he's a fan of the pod. Then he mentioned, "Hey, Lewis, would you like me to maybe try to take some photos?" And I've seen him before. I'll tell you guys the story. I've seen him before when we cover. Like I saw him at the U.S. Open Cup. He recognized me and came up to me and told me, "Hey, I watch the pod every Monday." And then I've seen him at Tampa Bay Sun games. I've seen him at Pride games. I've seen him at so yeah. So he's taking pictures for us. So I do want to give him a shout out. He's gonna be taking pictures for us for now. You know, look, I want to thank him because if you look at our Instagram account right here, you guys can check us out. We're under LP_podcast. He took some phenomenal shots from the pregame right here. He took also some great shots. Look at this poppy picture right here. This is for all the haters, man.
I love that one.
I'm gonna put that
You
fist.
know they're selling the white tee. This it kind of
Oh,
looks
they're
like
selling the white tees.
it's not exactly like this one, but it's kind
Oh,
of white tee esque
we're
on
gonna.
the
Yeah.
merch of the match.
I'm gonna put this fist to everybody that says "papi out." You know what I mean? You know. So we have a lot of. We have a lot of pictures. We have that shot from Ojeda. It looks like he just went to take an ID picture. You know what I mean? It's beautiful pictures. You know, Gervais, Brecalo. So check it out. We did a really cool kind of best pictures. Of the Saha yellow card. He complained to the ref. So check him out. Shots by Lucas is his Instagram account, and he's gonna be taking pictures for us moving forward. And if you want to join also and contribute, feel free to message us through Instagram. We'll definitely make it happen. But we appreciate Lucas. We have also a bunch of pictures, and I want to show you. I mean, some of the shots that I didn't get to put on Instagram, but are amazing. He gave me like 60 or something pictures. It's tremendous. Like, and they're all high quality. Like, look at this one right here from Oscar. Like, tremendous. So we're gonna be showing these pictures also on our website, loudandproudorlando.com. So we're gonna be there. So I want to give a shout out to him. Before I forgot, as we get into the analysis. But yeah, I mean, this was John a definitely a must-win game. It was a game that meant a lot. We said how important it was for Orlando to get the 3 points. People definitely doubted. There's a lot of people that just jumped into saying, "Hey, we're gonna get another draw," but things
I,
were clicking
I
already.
said we were gonna get another draw, man.
Yeah,
But
I
I
know, I
mainly
know.
did that because I feel like I had to, not predict the draws, not predict the win to get the win, But we did play really well, and I feel like Charlotte are just not like they have good players, but they're not performing as well, and we showed their vulnerabilities.
Yeah, Charlotte was a shadow of what he was in the beginning of the season, in my opinion. I don't think a lot of things were clicking. I don't know if Dean Smith, his tactics were waiting on Orlando City and just going off the counter and thinking that he'd be able to do a lot of damage. But I do want to say there's two silent heroes of this game that no one has mentioned a lot. Uh, and I'm going to mention them today. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel this game, Alex Freeman retired Tim Ream. That was a huge factor of why Orlando did so great. And another factor, Joran Gervais. I think Joran Gervais, to me, those two guys, those two acquisitions for the Lions have been tremendous when it comes to stamina, grit, game readiness, tactical savviness. I mean, they've been intricate for Orlando to kind of like what Oscar says, gel together very well offensively and defensively, and finally get that balance. I don't know if you feel the same way. What are your two players that you feel like work best in this game?
I definitely think Gervais stood
Yeah.
out a lot for me. I think he was just moving the ball around. Like whenever he's out there, some of his range of passing and the accuracy and the consistency, like accurate passes here, he had 96%. So 52 out of his 54 passes. And there was a couple that were like really nice, beautiful long balls. He played one out. I think it was to Ojeda, who like made a left hand run, and he played a beautiful ball out to him. I think just his ability in the midfield, holding onto the ball. He was doing that Atuesta role, right? He was the one at times that was the outlet in the center of midfield, allowing Cesar to really, run around more, mop up the ball. But Gervais was staying deep as well and covering the back four. I think he just had a really good game. And I think Oscar said about, oh, we don't have Atuesta or we don't have, whoever, but I'm not worried. Like we were going to rotate in the midfield. And I think a lot of that is to do with the confidence we have in Jeron Gervais and Dagger Dan. Shout out to Dagger, who's just became a new dad, by the way. And I think those guys have stepped up massively. So that even when, first of all, we're down Wilder for the whole season, he would be our usual guy in the midfield. But our preferred two would be Atuesta and Cesar, and then they're not always available. and Sherbet and Dagger have rotated it in and really haven't had a massive fall off. I think their level they're producing is, you know, very good, and I think they're both of them in different ways bring different things, but they're able to contribute in that midfield. And I think Sherbet had a great game in this one. I also want to shout out Brecalo. I think he had a great game. I think once again, like just being that left back that kind of drops into a back three. Like he's so versatile in that, but yeah, he's going forward. He had that one run in the other game against New England that was beautiful, and then in this game he had that incredible assist for was it the last goal for Enrique? Was just a great ball from Brecalo, kind of straight through the middle of their defense. So I think he's performing really well. You know, obviously Muriel, I think, started really well at the beginning of the game. I liked the energy from him. You know, he almost scored and then did actually score. Ojeda, once again, with just another beautiful strike showing his quality. I definitely agree. I think Alex Freeman had a great game. That moment where he smoked Tim Ream that you're talking about, Luis, where he is on the assist. Well, not the assist, but it was the build up for Ojeda's goal, where Alex Freeman comes into the box and he's like left, right. Tim Ream doesn't know what he's going to do, and then he makes a great pass into the box with his left foot instead of his right foot. That was a great moment, as well as others where Alex just looked like, you know, an absolute baller. And then Tim Ream really got put to death when Enrique got that final goal and literally nutmegged him in the last seconds there to put that ball in the back of the net. So it was beautiful to see. I think the boys played well all around. I don't really have any real stock down. You know, on this one, I don't really have anybody who I felt performed particularly badly. I think the boys overall all played really well and showed that drive and that determination, especially in a midweek game when we've been playing a lot, Luis. I felt
Yeah,
like
for sure.
they looked tired, but I didn't feel like they were being lazy. They were just like, hey, we're giving it our all.
They also saved a little bit of energy in that second half. I think they didn't they didn't wear as back and forth as in the first half. They were like just pressing them too hard, kind of fixating it like a cobra. You know, it was kind of like
Yeah.
torturing them a little bit and making Charlotte commit very mistakes and turn over the ball tremendously. They didn't do that in the second half, but they saved some energy, and I mean, I think it worked because they scored a third goal. So with Ramiro Enrique, which is his first goal of 2025. So I'm happy for him about that. We're gonna read some comments, and then I'll give you guys a little bit of my analysis as well. Stream Jesus says, I'm sorry, but Enrique produces more than Muriel, and all you have to do is trust him and give him a couple of minutes. Says, my respects to Enrique. I hope to see him starting or at least getting sub this season. Yeah, I think he will be great playing as that left winger, but I think Oscar, I don't know. I
I
feel
feel
Oscar,
everyone's calling for that now, Luis. Everybody wants him to be
yeah,
the starting left winger.
yeah. Punk and says, I'm loving Brecalo over Rafa Santos. There you go. Jim D, that's two Ojeda strikes that literally cannot be seen clearly on TV. It would seriously take a slow motion camera. Just insane to strike a ball that hard and that accurate. Yep. Yeah, he's definitely doing great. And I think John, you mentioned it in past spots. You know, at some point he was going to get those bangers. You know, he attempted many of them before.
Yeah, it's like all just coming together right now. I feel like Ojeda's in this beautiful moment, and like he is now tied with the likes of Ty Baribo and a couple other guys in goals and assists on the season. He's got 11 combined goals and assists, so he's in the MVP race. I really think that he is, if he continues like this, will be a top five, you know, finisher in the league based on this current form. Like the man has got more goals and, you know, assists, and he's gonna break the records for whatever if he carries on this trajectory from what he had last year, no doubt. Like he's killing it right now, and everything he hits at the moment is just going in. And that was another, like Jim D is totally right. It was another beautiful strike. The
Yeah,
way it just
tremendous.
landed, and he just smacked it so purely. And when he hit that, you're like, oh, that one's going in. So yeah, I mean, can't say enough good things about Ojeda right now. He's cooking. I do think
He's
Muriel,
he's he's our guy, John. Don't you feel?
He is our guy, man. He's the 10. Like he's the dude. He is the one player that I would be like, I don't know if there's another player in this team who can do what he does in the 10 position for us. Maybe there is, but he's the only one. Like we're showing that we don't really. I'm going to use the word need Atuesta. I would love Atuesta, but we don't
Right.
need Atuesta. Remember, everyone was like, "Hey, we can't score without Atuesta." It was like,
Yeah,
I
people put a lot of
I
emphasis on
I
him.
think that was overblown. I think that was just like, hey, he creates a lot, but he's not the one who's putting the ball in the back of the net, right? And now Ojeda's putting the ball in the back of the net consistently. Muriel got one in this. Enrique's scoring. Pasalic, I'm sure will get back scoring again soon. So we need all these guys contributing, and I really feel like that's happening. And I also think that other guys coming in like Justin Ellis, like getting his debut in this one,
Yeah,
18. I think that was really special, but it just shows that this year, not only are the veteran, the DPs stepping up this year, I also think that we've got so many of these academy products that are also contributing, young players that are stepping up their game as well. So the squad overall is just looking stronger. And when we do rotate, I feel more confidence in the youth and the fringe players to have those opportunities and to be able to perform at a high level.
yeah, for sure. You see here team of the match day: Martino Ojeda, David Brecalo, and also Oscar Pereja. Which you could say whatever you want about the man, but I mean the tactics were spot on. I think he definitely, the substitutions made a difference, as you see with Ramiro. So he did the subs at the right time. So kudos to him. I also want to say kudos to the fans that went on a Wednesday night. That was tremendous. It was loud. It was beautiful to hear from. I couldn't be there, unfortunately, but it was great to see, like, on Apple TV. Like, you could hear the fans. It was clear as day. And also, kudos to the fans for at least part of the fandom, at least, that really waited on Ojeda, because there was a lot of there was a lot of people getting really frustrated on Ojeda. And I think it wasn't just Ojeda, it was Gaston Gonzalez at some point, and it was Ramiro at some point, and y'all stuck by them, And I also good for Oscar and also Musi and Moreira for sticking up for their team and the people they brought into the team, and now it's paying really high dividends, especially after Facu left. You would have think, oh my God, the world is over, but this team is showing that they as different from other teams, that they're winning the matches and they need to win, and this one was a match that they needed to win, yes or no. And with that, I'm going to continue saying, for me, Orlando won because just the early dominance they exerted into Charlotte. I mean, they scored twice in 24 minutes. Charlotte didn't see that coming. The high press, quick transitions with 3 touches, it just overwhelmed Charlotte's defense. Team Ream, like, I remember there was a video on the first half that Freeman against Team Ream, and like I'm sorry, Team Ream. I mean, I have high respect for Team Ream, but he cooked them.
Yeah, man.
Just
It reminded me of the Bradley Duncan
Bradley
thing,
with
It's the
with
same. It was
Duncan.
like more of these age, and like Tim Ream was playing in the Premier League like a season and a half ago, right? Like,
Yeah.
wasn't even that long ago. So I feel like he's really just slowed down and fallen off. And I just don't think they have. I mean, they didn't even get, according to the stats, they didn't have a shot on, apart from the Zaha goal. I don't think Pedro really had to make any other saves. I think that one he just was off his line and maybe misread it, and it was a good shot by Zaha. Like, but outside of that, they really didn't test him much at all. So I think Charlotte are kind of broken at the moment, a little bit like Atlanta, but not as bad as Atlanta. But
Not as bad,
it's a
but
similar vibe where
yeah.
they spent money to be like, hey, last year we were here and we really want to take it to the next level. And I think everybody is surprised that they're not doing better. And I think it's partly down to their manager. Honestly, I don't think Dean Smith is a
Yeah,
good
I don't
manager.
think Yeah.
So I just don't think even if you've got Zaha and these guys, I don't think he knows what to do with them. And also, it's just, I don't think the vibes are good. Like, you got Zaha coming out talking about like, oh, don't get on my back. Like, if your players are doing that, I think you're not controlling your locker room correctly, etc. So there might be other issues. But I was surprised by, the lack of fight that Charlotte really put up. I think they kind of accepted their fate after a while in the second half.
Well, I think that they were physically very exhausted, and also because of the
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah, they've
Uh,
been doing away trips
yeah,
a lot, to be fair to them. They have been a lot of away trips.
right. So they were exhausted. They looked like they kind of lost trust and got frustrated with Dean Smith, and I feel Dean Smith also looked frustrated just to be there. It was very appalling, I will say. And another thing that I wanted to say about Orlando is the designated players clicking this season. It's very important. The home form to me is one of the most successful home forms that they've had in a long time. You're talking about they're unbeaten at Interco Stadium. 5 matches, 14 goals. 5 matches, 14 goals. So that's a lot of goals from what it used to be before. And then matching that with starting slow with the defense, but now, despite obviously conceding that goal that Dagger Dan was saying on the post press conference, and hey, we should have never conceded a goal. I think Orlando's defense, they really did their homework. I think in this scenario, you were talking about it, John, on the last spot. Abada is dangerous. Aguiman could come, and be a danger on the set pieces, and they really neutralized them. I mean, they really like did their homework. They anticipated them, and they didn't give them no time of the day. So I think those mixed together, you got a 3-1 win against the Rain, and I think we're the true kings, man. I mean, I think we're the true kings of the South.
I think also Charlotte came out with like this different formation. They were playing like the 3. They didn't play the 4-2-3-1. Like, they didn't have Abada in the middle, like running the show. He was out on the wing, and that kind of surprised some of them. And I saw the players like talking about that, and they were like adjusting. But we dealt with their thing, and I think Oscar nailed the game plan. I just wanted to put this up here for our recent form on screen. I just like looking at this, Luis. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of those draws in there, but it's nice looking back and saying, we haven't lost in a very long time, on a very good run of form at the moment. They haven't all been wins, but the defense is holding up most of the time, and we're also starting to score goals again. So I think we're in a really good place, and I think we're ready to go and take on Inter Miami, Luis. Quickly, we'll look at
Yep.
the standings before that. On last night, we actually jumped over Charlotte because they were above us, and results kind of went our way, where now,
2 points
obviously,
ahead.
Inter Miami do have a game in hand. They have only played 12. We played 13. But this weekend, if we beat them, we will potentially leapfrog them up into 5th as well, depending on how things go. So we're rising up the table, and I think 6th, honestly, is not reflective of the team that we are right now. I think that if we continue on this trajectory, Luis, we're going to be up in 2nd, 3rd in no time.
For sure. And talking about Inter Miami. Inter Miami. I'm gonna do an Inter Miami. Honestly, I don't know if you see that a lot, but I saw the ref. Now he has a FIFA badge, and Infantino is Messi's dad, literally. So he has a FIFA badge, and he told Messi to f off. I read the lips, and I mean, is he allowed to do that? I think it's after the game, so they can go.
Well, Messi almost got sent off. Like, Bruce Arena came in and
And
I don't know why Bruce was helping him out. But he was trying to calm it down. But yeah, Messi could have got sent off at the end of the last game,
and he would have not played with Orlando, which he loves to do that anyway. So let's see what happened real quick here.
That drama from beginning to end, and yeah,
He's like,
that's that conversation continuing.
He said, tell me my face.
On the final whistle.
He's like right there. He's like, fuck off. He's like, fuck off, buddy.
He was giving it all that, man.
Yeah,
They were not happy with the ref in that 3-3 game against San Jose last time out. So, yeah, I mean, I like this because it shows that he's a bit rattled, right? And I think that's what we want. Like, remember in that Leagues Cup game, as much as we got screwed by the refs, there was a moment there where they were really frustrated, and I love watching us get under their skin. And I think really that's key to this. You know, recently Inter Miami have not been as good as you might have thought. They've actually lost a fair few games recently. They lost both games to the Whitecaps in the Champions League. They also lost to Dallas at home. They did manage to beat the Red Bulls, but they've also lost recently to Minnesota. And then this game just against the Earthquakes, 3-3. Like they are conceding goals, Luis. They conceded 4 against Minnesota, 3 against San Jose, 1 against the Red Bulls. They conceded another like 7 against Vancouver in the Champions League. So they are definitely vulnerable. And I think that their defense is questionable. Now they've got great attackers. Let's not be real. Like, you know, underestimate.
They're very old, John.
They are. We cannot underestimate, you know, the moments of quality that will come from Messi, Jordi Alba, Busquets, all these guys. But they are getting older, and I think those signs of age are showing. And I also think Mascherano is starting to get a little bit found out, right? Like when he came in beginning of the year, they were doing really well. And everyone was like, oh, Mascherano looks like he knows what he's doing.
He's a horrible manager.
I'm starting to, if you watch him on the sidelines in some of these games, the man looks panicked. I think the lineups are questionable. The tactics are questionable. I think he doesn't know what to do with the fact that these old guys are so integral to the team and they can't play as much and they're not performing as well. And that's just causing issues. So I think right now is a great time for us, Luis, to go down there and play into Miami because I think they're looking a little vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, this is a time in which the stars, the momentum is in our favor. We are the better team in Florida. We are the best team in Florida. We can prove it by our standings and how we're looking and our stars and our players and what we're doing within our own community. And both, and I consider the pride too. There, both clubs are contributing a lot to the growth of soccer in the United States. Alex Freeman, Justin Ellis, Caraballo. So these are players that, you know, can you say the same thing about Inter Miami? Now, I do want to say though, you know, I don't like the fact, you know, when Messi first came to the United States and came to the MLS, people said that soccer was going to grow. And I feel like commercially, the MLS has made more money and it's seen by a lot of more eyes. But the product, they're really not making any significant progress on anything developmental at all, in my opinion, aside of their youth club that, you know, maybe MLS Next Pro. I really don't see them making a lot of headlines there. What's going to happen when Messi and Suarez and all those people leave? Who are you going to leave there? Is there going to be another, you know, exodus of players leaving, and then it's going to go back the way it used to be? You know, so you know, it's sad in a way how they are conducting business, and I feel like they're taking the true supporters, the supporters that were there when Orlando beat them 3-4-1 over there in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. They're disrespecting some of those fans. I mean, there's all these new fans that just went there for Messi, and it's sad. It's sad because he looks even frustrated of playing the sport anymore. I feel like he wants to retire. So I think it's like you said, John, it's a perfect time for. I mean, they already had a couple of L's, a couple of draws. I mean, Orlando needs to they need to do they need to take the puppy to the vet, because I think there's no turning back on that, unfortunately. You know, it is sad to say.
Well, and also we can't forget like last year, that 5-0.
Yeah.
we need a reply for
Yeah.
that, because I think whenever Messi arrived, and I agree with everything you said, everybody has been like focused on him, and then they're like, oh, who's their nearest rival, right? So when we play them, the eyes of the world are like, oh, Messi's playing his rival club. What's going to happen? And I think so far we haven't shown the best side of ourselves. And right now, Orlando City is in good form, in a hot form, and Miami are a little bit And I think this is a great time for us to be, just like Minnesota, just like Vancouver have, go smack them around a bit and show everybody, hey, these guys aren't as good as they think they are.
So Orlando City and Inter Miami have met 11 times in MLS play, including playoffs, with Orlando holding an edge on them: 5 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws. So, we're winning, that battle in the end. But I feel like you said, I agree with you. I think we need to make a statement just like Minnesota did. And they don't even have a rivalry with them. But this right here
Yeah.
is world headlines in a lot of places now.
Everybody's loving, like, they are becoming the villains of the league, right? They were always our villains. And before, we were kind of like, oh, we hate Miami, and everyone was like, okay, you're just Orlando. Of course you hate Miami. But now a lot of the rest of the league also really doesn't like Miami, and Messi's becoming a villain. This is like stuff that David Beckham's becoming more of a villain. It's this whole, you guys came in and spent whatever you want thing, and then you're going to complain, when it doesn't go your way. You're going to, try and use the refs to win games. You're going to complain about being classy or elegant and triumph, whatever. Like, this is MLS. You want to come in here and you want to do it however you want to do it, but you want to win, then you can glow. If you don't win, this is it, man. Teams are going to make fun of you. And this is our turn to kind of pile on their misery, right? And I think the rest of the league is going to be watching this Sunday night soccer game on rivalry week. I know it's going to be pretty hyped up, and I think people are going to want to watch us take down Miami and add on to their misery. So I really hope that we can go down there and do that, Luis. I mean, I think like I said before, I think our biggest strength here is that we are able to defend better than them. I think both teams are able to score goals, but like, they've been playing teams. I think if we come out with a good, strong defensive showing, we will do better and we still be able to score goals. Whereas, I think they are very reliant on trying to score more goals than you. So if we can shut it down for them, they're going to have limited options in what they can do. Whereas we can hopefully score a few goals against them. Like, they've been playing teams that their defense has not been that good. Like the last one against San Diego, I feel like San Diego really, sorry, not San Diego, San Jose, they really let them back into it. Like, they were up and they should have just shut the game down. I believe if we go up and expose their defense and get 2 or 3 goals, we have the ability to shut them out and kind of win the game that way too. So I'm really excited about this matchup. I'm hoping that this is the time that we can finally go down there and beat them with Messi on the field.
This is the first case. This is the first This is the first test of Orlando City this year in 2025 that could poise them to say, hey, they're ready for big things. So number one, and I repeat myself of what I said last time in the last episode, there is no analysis after this. There's no no negativity here. Like, I mean, Orlando would automatically go top 4, top 5 in the East, which is hard to do, and no one expected after Facundo left for Orlando to be in this position. So they're on the poise, on the up and up. They killed their arch rival, hopefully with authority, at their own stadium, right? And so that's going to make the fans, every home game, become louder and louder and louder and louder, and be that 12th man and kind of find that connection with the fans even more than what I already have now. So I think that is a positive thing. That's a turning point event, in my opinion. That is something that then you can take and say, hey, we already took care of Inter this year. Let's focus on now Nashville. Now we can, And I think it's going to be great for them, especially for the ones that I hear for more than 2 seasons and had to eat that 5-0 defeat, like Pedro, Robin, Rodri, like Dagger Dan, like those guys, like are probably like, no, I want to beat these guys real bad, you know. And so, it's a good time. I'm being in 10 MLS matches is Orlando City, 6 win, 4 draws, 21 goals scored, 15 conceded so far. Obviously, they've shown they have a balanced attack. Some of the weaknesses that Orlando may have, lapses in concentration. We've seen that happen,
Yep.
especially conceding late against New England. That's one of them. Their form, for Inter, they're top 4 in the Eastern Conference. They are obviously They have Messi. They have Suarez, that has 10 goals so far, and Diego Gomez. Um, they have pretty good talent, but right now they have a lot of defensive vulnerabilities, like you said. They have conceded 8 goals in 13 games,
Yeah.
and they've relied too heavy on Messi and Suarez to connect for goals.
Well, a few things on that. Astari looking, I don't know why. I mean, they didn't like Drake Callender, but he's better than this guy. Like, he's not performing well. Looking really, he's quite old. I think he's like 40. He's
He's a
not.
Messi friend. He takes care
Yeah,
of his cars.
he's not performing well at all. I'll tell you that right now. They Noah Allen's still playing center back. I don't love him in that position. I think he's a weakness. Honestly, I think. Um, Obviously, we talked about Busquets, Jordi Alba, Messi, all kind of slowing down. Suarez definitely this year massively slowing down, having knee issues. Allende and Segovia, like we saw in the preseason games, I think they are very good additions. I think we have to watch out for them. Yannick Bright's doing okay, but it's in some ways, Luis, I think this team is easier than other versions of this Miami with Messi and everybody in that we've played. I really think that the way that they're performing right now and the amount of holes I see in their defensive structure is a lot more than before. And I really think that a team like ours with our attack, we've been pulling apart New England. We've been pulling apart like good defenses recently, Charlotte, etc. We did a little bit against the likes of Chicago and other teams, even with their nils, we were creating chances. We were stretching the defense. We were moving the teams around. I think if we do that to this Miami team, I think there's going to be gaps, right? I think look at Jordi Alba. If you imagine his matchup against, like we just saw with Tim Ream, if Alex Freeman is going to come up on that right side and Jordi Alba, as we know, tries to get up on that left side, is that going to create exposure? If we're saying it's a foot race between those two, I think I back Alex Freeman on that one, right? So
Look, I could tell
there's
you,
there's some of these weaknesses in the way that they play and commit their players, and some of these slower players. We definitely like Busquets. I reckon if Atuesta's fit and healthy, he's going to be able to do a number on him.
so I have some news regarding Edra Tuesta for sure. So drop us a thumbs up. We'll read your comments in just a moment. Thank you for your support. All right. So his neck is better, and Edra Tuesta is poised to have minutes against Miami. His game decision. So just FYI on that. Um, he could have maybe had some minutes against Charlotte, but obviously because Orlando did so well, they're not gonna put him if it's not needed. The goal the goal was to keep him essentially fit for this game against Miami. So he may be game decision against Miami. So that's good news right there. But I feel like Gervais and Dargodan did a great job. So and Cesar.
Yeah,
So
I
so
wouldn't
yeah.
be
So
mad if Gervais started in this one. I
yeah,
I do think Atuesta will help for sure. So
for
it would be
sure.
great to have him back.
Okay, so real quick, we're gonna do our lineup. Give me 1 second here.
I think the lineup is going to be exactly the same.
I feel the same. I feel
Yeah,
it's
so we
gonna
don't have to
be.
do it. I think honestly, we
I
could
think it's
just
gonna be
say,
Pareja.
yeah,
It's gonna be sorry, not Pareja. It's gonna
Perea,
be
Perea, Perea for
it's
the
gonna be
in goal.
Galese. It's gonna be Galese, Brecalo, Schlegel, Jensen, and then Brecalo, right? Freeman, yep. And then on the you're gonna have Gervais and Cesar, and then
Yep.
you're gonna have or Martin as your 10, Angulo as your left, and then more than likely Pasalic as your right, and then right up top I think is gonna be Luis Muriel. So I agree with you on that too. So I do have some before we go into the predictions.
Yeah.
In according to DraftKings.com and SportsGambler.com, Inter Miami is favored on betting odds at home
Yeah.
with Orlando as underdogs plus 350 and a draw plus 280 over 2.5 goals is likely. So that's number one. They're saying that according to the same outlet says Miami's advantage is home crowd, Messi's game-changing ability, and a deeper bench. And in Orlando's case, they put on here their unbeaten streak, defensive organization, and success in Florida Derby matches. There are Orlando's unbeaten in 3 at Chase Stadium. So that's a good data right there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
so
I also think that they're having to travel a lot. Like they've gone from, a lot of away trips they've been doing. They went to Vancouver away, then they've been to Minnesota, and then just literally on Wednesday they were in San Jose. I think that doesn't help them. Whereas we've been doing Wednesday, Saturday as well, but we've been like we went to St. Pete and then we were home, and now we're going to Miami. Like it's really not much travel at all for us. So I think that is a big factor. Yes, they definitely have better form at home. They seem to score more goals at home. But right now, I think they're like we talked about before. I think their form is in question. So perhaps that home form that was strong at the beginning of the season doesn't really apply right now. So I think there's a lot of factors here at play, Luis, and um, I do think though, goals are likely in this one from both teams. If you're a betting person, I would bet over 2.5 goals is probably a pretty sure bet, right? I think we're going to have 3 or more goals between the two teams in this one, I would say.
yeah, so Inter Miami had one home loss this season, 4-3 defeat to Dallas on April 27th. So check that out. I think
Yeah, that was a crazy game.
the boys need to watch that game. They're beatable in that stadium.
Yeah, I mean Vancouver did it too in the Champions League there, so
Yeah.
it,
So, I mean, if
I
Orlando wants that again, if Orlando's aspiration is to win the big one, they gotta kill the Flamingos on Sunday. I mean,
for
there's
sure.
there's no other way. So,
What's
you want
your
to do the?
prediction?
Yeah, you got predictions?
We ready? All right, Luis. Shout out to you. You are now. I put you in green. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 right this season. I've got 1 right so far. I'm hoping maybe this week is where my luck turns. All right, what do you got for Fort Lauderdale?
All right, guys. Um, I think it's time, guys. I think we're gonna make 6 out of 6. I am 100% sure Orlando's gonna make 6 out of 6. Orlando 4, Inter Miami 2.
Man, you stole my score prediction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's okay though. Well, we
It's
can both
okay. It's
win.
okay. We could
We
both
can both win if we
we
get it
could
right,
both win.
Luis. Why are you going 4-2? I want to hear your reasons because I'm also
Why?
thinking
Because
4-2.
look, we have a team, and again, look, and I'm gonna say this in Spanish too. A la gente que nos ve de Argentina, no le tengan respeto a Messi, por favor. No respeten a Messi. Jueguen por la camiseta, jueguen por Orlando City. Yo sé de que es campeón del mundo, que es casi Maradona, Messi y de ahí Dios, pero hoy las cosas tienen que cambiar. Hoy Schlegel se le tiene que parar frente a Messi y gritarle. Hoy Ramiro Enrique le tiene que decir anda y hacer así. Hoy todos los latinos tienen que meterle su pierna fuerte a Messi. Messi tiene que caer desafortunadamente porque Orlando tiene que llegar a ganar una copa. Y ese es el primer paso. What I'm saying is, Argentinians needs to stop respecting Messi a little bit. To the
Yeah, it's
Argentinians,
none of this like too much deference. Yeah.
there's no like, oh, thank you, Messi. Oh, no, no. I felt the past few games a little bit too much respect to
Yeah.
go for the tackle on Messi. I feel, for example, Alex Freeman, Dagger Dan, even Kyle Smith wouldn't give a rat's behind.
Brekalo, Schlegel, I mean,
Right?
I
Yeah,
want
they
to
would.
see like that
But
Leagues Cup game where we
I
really
feel
went for them.
in those key positions, you have a Schlegel as a center back. You have also Cesar as a six. Don't respect too much Messi. I think, and that's what I'm trying to say is they play for the badge. This is the first step on them trying to reach not only a championship, hopefully a double. I mean, if they win the U.S. Open Cup and the MLS, that'll be a double right there. You know, if y'all say you are that team, this is the first test. And tests are meant to either fail or pass. And I think based on your momentum, Orlando has a higher chance of passing this test with a 4-2 result. Now, obviously, yeah, I think Orlando's going to concede a couple. Hopefully not. Hopefully, I'm incorrect. Hopefully, they don't concede anything. But it more than likely, Messi is going to pull something. I'm sure. And it
Yeah.
is. But I think we need
And
to be prepared for that
and
mentally as
that's
well.
why I'm like I don't think we're gonna shut them out. Like we're not in the best defensive form. I do think we have a good defense, but we're not keeping clean sheets at this exact moment. So I think there's gonna be a little bit of that. Maybe the ref will give them a penalty, like it can be I think a goal or two, and it shows on their record that they score at least 2 or 3 goals a game at home. But I also think we're scoring like a lot of goals at the moment. And I think that the offense is really clicking. And that's where with you, Luis, I think if we're going to win this game, it's going to be a dramatic sort of 4-2, 4-3, maybe like a crazy 5-3 or
Yeah,
5-2 such scenario. Like, because
which it happened with Dallas.
yeah, like it's happened with Dallas. Like they get themselves into these situations where they have a very open game, and I think that suits us. I really do. I think if we're gonna go all out with them, and it's gonna be back and forth with the fact that they've just been all the way to San Jose and back and tired legs. I back us to out stamina them in a game where we just got to outscore them as well. So hopefully we can get that 4-2 scoreline, Luis, and get the dub. And 6 points from a week where we played Charlotte and Miami, that would be perfect.
For sure. We're going for the win as Orlando supporters and Orlando. Also I have a lot of love for the City Beautiful. It's time for that myth that at some point we already killed the whole Rowdies thing. That whole rivalry to me, it's dead. you know, um, I think the fans killed it, and I think the results say it. When it comes to now, it's time for Inter Miami. Now it's time to kill that myth that they are the best team in Florida, and with Messi. And it's time for the club that runs them itself at a very respectable manner and has great people that work in that club that I have the pleasure, the privilege to know, uh, for them to get international exposure. And for once and for all, when you're in Peru, in Kuala Lumpur, in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Barcelona, Spain, you say, who's the best club in Florida? Orlando City. And I think this is the moment, guys. I think this is the moment. I mean, it's a little hurrah that I'm doing right now, but I mean, it is. I mean, after that 5-0, man, I was completely devastated. But
Yeah.
again, we'll move on. We have OCB news.
A couple last things. I want to say, first of all, respect to everybody who's going down. I know ILF Ruckus are going down on Sunday night for that game down in Miami. So anybody who's going down for that on a Sunday night is going to come back late and go to work on Monday. You guys are awesome. I'm not going to make that one, but I'm excited to watch on TV and hopefully hear the purple crowd invade that, Tin Box Stadium down there. And if you're not going for that and you need a bit of soccer this weekend, we've got Orlando Pride on Friday
Friday,
night.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, they
You're
are
driving there.
playing an epic game against Kansas City, which will be like just like
Rivalry.
this. This is rivalry week for
A
us
rivalry week,
on
man.
both teams because we really don't like Kansas City. So come check that out on Friday night. That'll be an epic game. And then Saturday, if you want to go watch Orlando City versus Inter Miami in person, you can watch the B team and the second team for Inter Miami fight it out. So OCB, I know they're doing a lot of things. They're giving away koozies. They're offering tickets. They're really trying to push this OCB game. So if you've never been to OCB, this might be the weekend to go watch them. 7 o'clock on Saturday night, OCB versus Inter Miami 2.
Justin Ellis, Colin Gusky, all those guys are going to be there.
Some of them will probably travel down. I don't know, but they might not do that till Sunday. I don't know how this is going to work. So I think maybe we're not going to see some of those guys in the OCB lineup because they're going down.
Also, the Pride has, and I thought it was cool, for $50, you get a seat.
Yeah.
At a really nice seat. I think it's like in a box.
In the club. Yeah, I think in the club or something, and you get unlimited barbecue.
Unlimited barbecue.
Yeah, there you go. So
that's
Friday, I love that we're doing unlimited barbecue night on the night that Kansas City comes to town. I think that is some marketing genius. You got to respect that. So big full weekend of soccer here, and thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. You want to do the socials, Luis?
Yeah, for sure. Check us out on X. We are available on X at LP_podcast with Loud and Proud Orlando. Instagram, Loud and Proud Orlando, LP_podcast. Also Facebook and YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. This episode will be on Ghost TV, so keep an eye on that as well. Before we go, let's do some real quick comments here. Jomi Jyrock says Pink Phony Club, correct.
Love that.
Jim D, place your bets. Who will Busquets choke on Sunday? I think we're gonna choke Busquets, man.
I think you'll go for Schlegel if anybody.
And knowing those guys, and I'm gonna say this real quick, they're gonna try to bully Freeman. Knowing those guys, they're gonna try to bully Freeman, pull Rand, get on top of him.
I hope we get a good ref who calls it fair, man, because I want to see a fair game.
Stream Jesus says, I just want to pat you guys on the back and say what a great show. Thank you, Stream Jesus. Appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you to everybody that's watching, that's listening, that's going to listen after. Drop us your like, your comment, subscribe to the channel. This is Loud and Proud Orlando, and we sign off. Thank you, and vamos Orlando. Take care, guys.
Florida's purple, baby. Vamos Orlando.
Florida's purple. Take care.